Third reactor, roll off.
What's going on, Reactor Rides? And welcome back for another review of The X-Files. We've got John and Mike here. We just finished watching the latest episode titled Mulder and Scully Meet the Weremonster. Very funny, weird. It's completely different from what I was expecting.
It just blows my mind. It's just everything that you know about the werewolf storyline, about how, like, you know, some creature bites a guy, he becomes a werewolf. This one is the complete opposite of that. And like the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the episode, it makes you think that it's your typical werewolf story. In this case, instead of a wolf, it's like a lizard man.
Completely different from the first two episodes. This one was way more comedic and way more like, it almost seemed like a parody of what you know from the X-Files, in terms of, like, you know, they've done monster episodes before, and this is basically like a comedic version of that same style, and it's like very more lighthearted tone, more comedy, and like even like the way that they went about it, just Mulder and Scully going back and forth, it was really funny.
Yeah, that interaction, that was like one of my favorite parts of the episode, because, you know, Scully, she's the non-believer, Mulder's a believer, and he's just trying to tell her like what happened. And instead of her being able to say something, he's like, I know, Scully, what you're going to say. You're going to say this and that. But then I would rebuttal with this. And then when she's about to talk again, and then you're going to say this, Scully. So it's just funny. Like, he already knows what she's going to say before she even says it. It's kind of true, because she's just like, you know, nodding like, yeah, I was going to say that.
They've done this before. They've done these episodes before. It's a certain, like, archetype, you know, whatever episode where, you know, they come to a new town, somebody says there's a monster, they investigate it. Sometimes they believe it is a real monster, sometimes it's something else, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, this is something completely different from what we've seen before. You know, very, like we said, very lighthearted. A lot of cameos, too. It's just kind of weird that 3 episodes are over and there's 3 episodes left.
3 episodes left, so I'm not sure what their plan is. So it's just pretty much, it's like the old school X-Files, where each episode is like its own self-contained story about a new case. Mm-hmm. And I was hoping it would explore more about the story of the first episode with the government planning stuff. Uh-huh. So I wanted to see more of that. But I still enjoyed this one. This was cool. It's everything's just turned upside down, because instead of like a scary werewolf story, it's like the Lizard Man, but it's very comedic too, because there's a part where Mulder and Scully, they can see the Lizard Man just running around, and it hides inside the porta potty. Mulder opens the door. It's just like this dude. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like a British guy. And so you're thinking, is this guy the Lizard Man? And then, like, once he stands up, you can see, like, the horns on the back of his head growing inside of his skin. So you know, okay, that's the guy. And it's just funny, because later on you find out he doesn't really kill anybody. It's like someone else, and he's the one that used to be a lizard, but a guy bit him and he became human. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Mulder has this whole thing about, you know, him wanting to believe. Like, I remember they said, like, in the first episode, everything's kind of changed now, or whatever. Yeah. He says, like, you know, that everything they knew was wrong, and, you know, everything's turned upside down.
Yeah, and even in the beginning of the episode, they have, like, different case files of different pictures, like, oh, there are like these tracks, and it's it's just what is it, rocks or ice or something like that.
Yeah.
And this one's a hoax from college kids or people that are bored. So like everything's explained.
Yeah, and then I know we talked about this about the second episode. It's like there was such a big jump in, like, they went from not being part of the X-Files to just being part of the X-Files and just doing a case.
Yeah. This one, he's more self-aware. So he knows, like, it might sound crazy. That's why when he's talking to Scully, like, just try to think about this. It's like, just don't think that I'm crazy. But, you know, if you've been watching X-Files, you know that weird stuff happens. But yet, like, 9 seasons of X-Files, and they still doubt themselves? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I think, you know, Scully, she had, like, a really funny part of this episode, because she was really removed, and, mm-hmm. like, you know, the main thing was really focusing on Mulder, because he's the one that's trying to hunt down this person. He's the one that believes, or wants to believe, and while she's just kind of, like, doing her normal detective work, and just kind of, like, she always runs into him, or, you know, he's like, oh, yeah, you know, and then he's like, hey, you know, shouldn't be going by yourself. You know, why are you attacking this guy or whatever?
Yeah. So everything that she does is by the book, and so they always separate. So Mulder always encounters the weird stuff, while Scully, she get blood samples and all that. So everything for her is procedural, and it's just normal and fine and dandy. So nothing out of the ordinary.
So I think one of the big scenes for this episode, like the one that fans will take away with, like, even if the last 3 episodes suck, they'll be like, you know what, season 10 was amazing just because of this part. They had some serious fan service. So if you've been a diehard, X-Files fan, and you've had this long crush for, Agent Dana Scully, you got your wish fulfillment tonight, because they had this scene with her that was very, very sexual and very, seductive.
Yeah,
it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah, the Lizard Man is just explaining, like, what is it? This woman came up to me, and then he's just saying that he had sex with her, and it went crazy. And Mulder is like, I don't think that happened. But this actual scene, she, Scully, she just, opens up her shirt, and then like, they go in the back, and they go at it, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So they have the hots for Scully. This is the episode to watch that.
This is on network television. This is on basic TV. Wow, I can't believe that. But it was great episode. And then the ending was good because he has this final like conversation with the lizard guy, and it's just kind of like,
or is it man lizard?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, is he crazy? Because we don't know. Scully never sees him.
Yeah, he never sees it. But I like this because, like, let's say in a typical, like, guy becomes animal story, once he becomes the animal, he carries traits of that animal. So he has to, like, feed or something like that. But in this one, the lizard creature becomes human. So he has traits of humans and wants to do human things, like get a job. Or, just doing like other stuff, like trying to get money to pay for mortgages. So I thought it was like funny and great, like it's a play on all those other like horror movies.
Yeah, he's like, just please kill me. He's like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, because when you're thinking about it, like if it was a guy turning into a werewolf, like he would, please kill me, I'm turning into a beast. But here it's like, please kill me, I gotta work tomorrow.
Yeah, all around like great episode, like really good, really very fun episode. I enjoyed it. I mean, even though we complained about in the previous episode about it not being like an overarching story, it was very fun. It was, we were laughing the whole way through it. So let us know what you guys thought about the episode. We've read your comments. We like your guys' feedback. So some people like just outright hated the new episodes, but at least there's some conversation, and some people like it, some people don't. That's cool. But thank you guys for coming and listening to what we have to say. Hope you guys will stay tuned the rest of the week. We got more episodes coming. So give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.